Yeah, welcome everybody to my awesome Figma dashboard. I got this design from I saw it. I found it somewhere basically, and this design it looks nice, looks good, very fine, interesting font choices. Yeah, like I said in the description, this is going to be a video on the principle of good UI design, how not to make your design suck in just 5 moves. Now, you must have been designing and you must have run into one or two issues and you decide, okay, what exactly am I doing wrong? I'll show you what you're doing wrong and I'll show you how to make it better. This looks like a very interesting design, but so many principles are off. Alright, so we'll be working on this and we'll see how we'll make it better. First of all, we'll be adjusting just 5 major things: balance, proximity, contrast, typography, and visual hierarchy. Okay, now when we look at this, I get what the person was trying to do. Trying to, okay, this is your placeholder text, the password, the confirm email. But the first thing you do, okay, now let's try and work on color. Let's try and work on contrast. Now, if I look at this, this is a rectangle. I've selected inside. This is way too dark. It makes it difficult for me to even see the placeholder. So if I change this to, let's say, like an F2, how is that? That's a whole lot better. A whole lot better. Now, how about I change this? It's way too black. Okay, I go into the group, I change it. Let's say I make it this. Looking a whole lot better, right? Okay, now next up we'll work on alignments. Now this is way off. This is way too off. The email is here, the password is here, everything's all scattered. So first of all, I'll align it to the center. I'll align everything to the center of my rectangle, of my circles, of my input text basically. So everything is all arranged. Now I'll press Alt key on my keyboard. What's the distance between this and this? This is set as 25, so we'll work with that. So this is 25. Why does that keep popping up? So I'll click this. This is 37, 12. So we've made it 25. Yeah, aligned. Apart from that one, what else can we align? Everything is all really messed up. Okay, let's try and see how we can align these two texts. Let's align these two texts to the left. And let's align it to this. So I shift it. The distance between this and the wall is how many? 21. So the distance between this and my wall should be is 24. Let's make it 21. Perfect. Now that's looking better, right? What else can we do to make this a whole lot better? Now we'll talk about balance. Balance is just basically relating negative spaces to positive space. Now this is too clustered. Come on. There is no space to breathe. Let's try adjusting this. Adjust this. Adjust this. If you are a human being, and if they put a nylon over your head, would you feel comfortable? If they put you in an enclosed space, you won't feel comfortable. You need space to move around. Come on. Like this again, there is no balance. It is too clustered. So let's try shifting this. Let's give it a... Okay, I usually work with a space of 8. So this is 4 times 8, 32. So we are giving the distance of 32. Now let's try aligning it. Remember we've talked about alignment. So this is alignment. Okay, now what next? What else can be done? It looks a whole lot better compared to the previous. So now what else can be done to this? We'll talk about repetition and pattern. Now if I look at this, I come into this rectangle. This has a border radius of 3. I really don't know what is going on here. Okay, maybe trying to do a whole sexy different kind of round feel, but it came off. So let's work with this. We can either work with this and make everything, let me give it an overemphasized border radius. Yeah, once I do it like this, I can now decide to work with this, and now I'm having this consistent border radius repetition. Or I could decide to give all of them a border radius of 3 that was initially kept. Yeah, this will look a whole lot better compared to our previous design. Your designs should not be strange. It should be predictable. You repeat. Okay, now we've worked on alignment, we worked on repetition. Now let's work on proximity. Proximity ensures grouping. Elements that are grouped together are easily accessible and are easily defined as one particular single unit. So let's distribute this space. But still, this is still too small. They are still too close to each other. What else can we do? Okay, I'll click on all the groups. Alright, let's try and give this spacing of padding of 16, a margin of 16. Yeah, this is a whole lot better. Okay, now if I go back to my groups, to make it stand out a bit more from the background, I can give it a stroke. Okay, there's already a stroke. That's nice. Okay, but it's not consistent in all. So let's make it consistent in all. With the stroke, let's steal this color. Let's reduce the opacity to like to 40 so it complements each other. Now this looks a whole lot better. Now repetition, this and this, it's not the same. Now this is maybe to emphasize on the call to action button, but it's easy for me to spot out something that is out of place compared to spotting something and spotting something when everything is in line. So now it's easy for me to see a circle in a group of boxes than to see a smaller box in a group of bigger boxes. A slightly smaller box, it's a whole lot different. So even if the typography is smaller, it's still easier for me to spot it when it's a whole lot larger. So now, what size? Okay, this was used as 16, so let's use this as 16 as well. This is too emphasized. Now let's align it. Align it to the center. No, that didn't align. Okay, we'll adjust the size. Align it to the center. Align it. Now this looks a whole lot better. Okay, now remember I said alignment and grouping. So proximity ensures grouping. But if I look at this form like this, everything looks like one single element. So for me to emphasize on, okay, these three are together to be filled, this is the action, I have to give this more spacing. So this is 16, this is 16. I'll click on this so that it doesn't come too low to the sign up and agree term. I can give this extra space of, let's say, 36, since we are working with multiples of 8. Yeah, a whole lot better. Now this was given 16 and they are grouped together. We are almost grouping this together to an extent. Okay, so this looks better compared to the previous. Okay, we can still reduce this. Still, let's make the lighter color, not too light, so that the whole essence of contrast doesn't go away, but at least light enough. So I can still see this is subtle, it's readable, it's legible, it's clear. The hierarchies are defined. Okay, now back to this. Okay, now we gave this, since we are separating the groupings 36, this is 29, let's make it 36 as well. Yeah, everything is ordered. This being here, yeah, I get you're trying to align in here, but it would look a whole lot better if it's aligned to the center, just like this. So we align this to the center, we align it to the center of our frame. Voila, we are done with the first screen. So let's go to the next. I think I'll just end up touching just this one. Yeah, this I get. It's an interesting font choice. It's stylish, it's sweet, but it's difficult to read. Most times, fonts with too much emotions usually pass less message. Here, it's a whole lot clearer. So we'll go with the choice of fonts that was used here, and that was. Let me click into this. That was the Source Sans Pro. So let's make this. And one thing about rules of a good UI design: do not use more than two different font choices. My best practice is to always use a sans serif font and a serif font. You never go wrong. So let's pick a sans serif font here. The Source Sans Pro. Yeah, this is better now. What was the padding? Remember we are doing repetition, so we want everything to be consistent. This had 6. Let's make it 21. 21. Distance between this and the top is 102. Let's make this 102. Okay, now let's work on every other interesting font and make them less interesting but convey more meaning. Turn this to Source Sans Pro. Okay, now it's a bit difficult to for visual hierarchy. Everything is all clustered, everything is all drawing my attention. So basically, let's make this lighter. Let's make these write-ups lighter. Let them stop shouting at me. I did not do anything wrong to them. This is unmixed. So regular. How does that look? That looks a whole lot better. Now there's still no space. Okay, now this search, I'm hovering over it. I'm seeing that there's a rectangle space, but outside I'm not seeing anything. There's basic. Why would you use a white? There's no contrast. So I'll change this. Use my color picker to pick the color choice of here. Then to make it consistent with that, I'll also give it a radius of 3. I'll highlight on everything. I'll group it together. Now adjust it to here. Let's make this 24. So now these circles also, the border radiuses are unnecessary. It's 30, 30, 20, sorry. Let's make this consistent with the rest. Make this 3. Yeah, I skipped that. I didn't find it. Source and scroll. Yeah. Okay, now the alignments are off. We had an alignment of 21 before, so let's go back to our 21 alignment. I keep on making and pressing my home button. Let's work with the alignment here. This is 13, so obviously this will be 13. This is 13. This should be 13 as well. Count 7 spaces. This is 14, make it 13. Yeah, aligned. We have to make sure everything is well aligned. 13. I mistakenly reduced the contrast there. So you saw what happened. Just because of the contrast, it was difficult for me to read it. Okay, this is looking a whole lot better. Now there is no space, proximity. This is already looking like everything is one single unit. We don't want that. We want it to be spaced sexily. Alright. So we go down. We grouped before with spacing of 24 for this page. Yeah. So this was 24. So between this and this 24. makes better sense. This can be close to each other because they are grouped together. This is a different category from this, so it should not be grouped together. Okay, we are heading somewhere. I think it looks good now. Okay, yeah, and apart from this, very visual hierarchy. How do I know what page I'm meant to be, what page I'm on right now? The only indicator here is this green saved, but that's still not enough. How about I reduce the contrast of this? Not so much. It should blend with the background, but it should still be a bit legible. Instead, let me pick up the font choice of the placeholders. Yes, slowly. Let's see how well that will work. It's still a bit too light, too dark, so I'll just reduce it. Yeah, you can see it, but it's still a bit fading towards the background. Pick this. I'll choose the font, the color of my call to action buttons. I'll increase it from regular to semi bold while I keep this rest at regular. Yeah, they're all at regular. So it's a bit standing out now, but what is left? The icons. I'm trying to establish visual hierarchy here. So I don't want this green. I want the same color as my font. Like this, voila, it is obvious what needs to be done. So I'll work on this. First of all, where did this one come from? Make it source sans pro. I'll try to establish visual hierarchy here. So I'll change my fill to the same one I used as this. Change this to semi-bold. Change the fill color to that of this green. So it's like an indicator of where I'm meant to be. Change source sans pro. Okay, these are all grouped together. This is looking nice. What is this? This is way too big for this circle. I didn't even know there was a circle. So we'll reduce this. Yeah, there's now more space around it. No, it's not usually the bigger the better, but the smaller with reasonable negative space, the better. It gives you room to breathe. It gives me room for identification. There's no room to breathe here at all. So I would shift this tool down, give it enough distance between this. Yeah, 14 is quite okay. Look at this again. Shift it. Let's make it 14 as well. And voila, we are done. With 5 easy steps of balance, proximity, pattern recognition, that's repetition, contrast, and good typography choice, we have been able to turn this design from the mess it was to the awesomeness it is right now. Please click on the link below, subscribe, like, and give a comment. I'll appreciate your feedback. Thank you.